The video game industry is a rapidly growing and innovative industry that will continue to affect the future of entertainment, but the industry itself can be very unwelcoming to some people. We talked to USC senior Olivia Morales about how she hopes to create a safe space for women trying to enter the gaming industry and just express their love of video games without having to face harmful stereotypes. We recently stopped by a meeting of USC Girls in Games.
Girls in Games is a club that was started, I believe, 2 years ago now. I'm one of the original founders. I'm also the current president. Essentially, it's mostly a social club. It's meant to provide a community and a safe space for women who are interested in video games, either professionally or socially. We mostly have like social events where we all just come together and give people an opportunity to meet each other. Once you arrive at USC, at least when I was a freshman, there's this big push to be involved. And I think that's at most schools where it's just like, be involved, join as many clubs as you can. And I didn't really find that my freshman year. I didn't really find anything that was like consistently interesting. So because of that, I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing. With starting this club and like hoping to eventually see people like coming consistently, I think hopefully that will help people. It definitely helped me.
Do you believe there's a stereotype around people in game development?
Oh, for sure. And not to like validate it, it's a little bit more than just a stereotype though, because the demographics of people working in the game industry are super skewed and they've gotten better in the past like 5-10 years, but I think we experience a lot of setbacks pretty often. And it's not just with women. There's also a really low number of like Black people working in games. There's a real low number of Hispanic people. And I think with women, it's easier to bring us in, but also we try to keep in mind like intersectionality in the games industry. I did get some pushback when trying to start the club in terms of the name being Girls in Games. Like some of my like faculty advisors were telling me like, oh, that's kind of like condescending, I guess, towards women who are interested in games. And I was like, no, it's not. It's first of all, it's started by women. So I don't really know how we could be condescending towards ourselves. But also just like I feel like with a name like Girls in Games that's kind of cutesy and a little bit like trivial, but we're still like taken seriously as a club. It's just important to have that duality, I guess.
Back when you said faculty members, was it women who were pushing back?
No.
Was it all men who were pushing back?
Yes.
Are most of your teachers men?
Yes. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I wish there was a faculty member who I felt was more like me. There's not really. It's also about this like personality type, how you present yourself, how you dress, how you look. It's all these things. And I run into this problem a lot because I don't think, even being a woman, I don't think I fit the like image of someone that wants to pursue game development because of all these like all these expectations. Because I mean I am a nerd, but I'm not particularly quiet or withdrawn or anything like that. And I think that because sometimes I'm loud or sometimes I'm theatrical or sometimes I am super flamboyant in the way I dress or look, people don't expect me to be interested in this professional side of games. A lot of people ask me like, oh, you should be a streamer. You should do streaming. And I think that's cool, but I think a lot of times they say that because I don't look like I want to make games. I look like someone that doesn't to them. I think part of the stereotype also is that gamers are like really like racist and sexist and misogynist and all this stuff. And that's not true because a lot of the demographics are split. I think women and men are almost equal now in terms of gamers in general. But the loudest members of the gaming community are these people who are like leaving nasty comments online and hating whenever a woman goes to present something on the stage of E3. There's so many comments that will be talking about her in such vicious ways.
Did these loudest members or stereotypes that you're struggling to face ever scare you away from pursuing this?
No, because that's not really the type of person I am, but I do think that it makes me feel certain ways about it. I've never reconsidered my career path because of seeing the backlash towards women or just nasty people online in general, but it does give me pause to think about it, and just think like, oh, is this how I'm going to be received someday? In recent years, there's been a lot of like labor controversies in the games industry that have also brought to light a lot of other issues, such as like mistreatment and harassment in the workplace, regards to women. And those issues in terms of labor pertain to everyone. If someone is being overworked or they're being forced to work too many hours and they have to sleep under their desk or something, that affects everybody. And a lot of times those reports come hand in hand with, oh yeah, and I was also harassed by this executive. So I think that when people talk about their negative experiences in the workplace, and there's things that everyone can relate to, as well as like microcosms of like, oh, this is like a women's experience. Like, I don't know, I think it's helpful to always talk about what people are experiencing in the workplace, and I think that's probably what's helping the most. It's easy when we're in this like safe space, I guess. I know people hate that word, but it is a safe space. Like, I think that at our club meetings, everyone feels safe. It's not just women in the room. We have quite a few men that will like pop in and hang out with us, but it's our space, it's Girls and Games, and they know that that's what they're here for. So I think everyone there can forget about all these like negative stereotypes and all these negative expectations and just like have fun and like chat and meet some friends. So I think that just having that opportunity to escape, I guess, from those expectations is really helpful. I'm hoping that in the next 10 years we see a big change. I think we will. Obviously there's going to be backlash, but I'm just hoping that we see major changes in terms of who's at the top of the industry. Anyone can work on video games if they want to, and not fitting people's expectations, I think, is really good for seeing change in the games industry eventually.
We've gotten a glimpse of what it's like to work in a male-dominated artistic industry as a woman. But Zach Patel, a male student in the School of Dramatic Arts, talks to us about his experience as a man in theater, an art form that has been historically dominated by men. But in today's society, it is often seen as a more feminine form of expression.
This is my 9th sick day this semester. It's getting pretty tough coming up with new illnesses. If I were to go for 10, I'd probably have to barf up a lung.
That was a clip from one of Zach Patel's audition tapes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Patel. I'm a freshman here at USC. I'm from Northern Virginia. I'm brown. I'm trying to think of like what else I could say. I'm wearing an Aberdeen Proving Grounds hoodie. It's like a nice maroon color, and the most beat up Vans you have ever seen in your life.
That's the one with your toe poking out?
Yes, on both sides. On both shoes, my toes are poking out. It's crazy. I should definitely get new ones, but they're the most comfortable shoes I have, so I continue to wear them. Believe it or not, I used to be the shyest kid on the face of the planet. Like, I was that weird kid that like hid behind my parents whenever like people were talking to them or trying to talk to me. Like, I couldn't look people in the eye. It was just absolutely terrifying for me. Around 5th grade, when I started, one of my friends said, "Oh, there's like an acting camp. We should do that." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." And I just fell in love. There's something relieving about being in a different persona, being out of yourself, being someone different, that makes it so freeing almost. It's very therapeutic. That really got me into it, and I knew that I had to like either pursue it or continue doing it throughout middle school, high school, and college too. Everybody in Shakespeare and Shakespeare plays were all played by men. So even if you were a female character, it was played by a man. So a man had to play a woman who also played a man, if that makes sense. It's a weird concept, but there's always been that like fluidity with sexuality throughout theater. So I feel like even if you are questioning or if it's a difficult topic for you, it's really open to the theatrical community.
Do you think that these assumptions, opinions, or stereotypes are detrimental to people in theater?
Yeah, I think it takes a really big toll on some people, especially if you put it into a negative connotation. If a casting director won't cast you because you are gay or lesbian, or they won't cast you because of the way you look, for sure is detrimental. It has a big toll on some people. I think that's definitely unhealthy. That's why a lot of casting directors try not to tell you what they don't cast you for. Like, you're either just not good enough, it's the way you look, it's the way you portray yourself. It's a very cutthroat business where they will just cut you for the most random things. Even if you have the talent, it's detrimental when these stereotypes play in. I feel like it's seen as more of a feminine job because it's way more vulnerable. Like, you have to put all of your emotions in to play a realistic character. Like, if I'm breaking down on stage and I'm crying, those are actual tears. They're not fake. In real life, I feel like we are just more gated in general. A lot of men, and I just think a lot of people just don't show their emotions. With that vulnerability coming in as an actor, it seems way more feminine, because I feel like the stereotypes play in that females are more emotional and show that more than men, and men are way more gated. So I think that's where the feminine aspect comes in. And plus, there's a lot of expression in theater. So there's dancing, there's a lot of singing, there's a lot of physical movements. And again, as men, we are kind of taught to restrict almost. So it seems way more feminine because there's not many boundaries on the other side.
Do you think if men realized that they don't have to be this gated or opened up a little more, it would be not as mentally draining for them?
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot more people would actually be pursuing acting. I feel like a lot more people would be out there trying to either do production side in theater or just in film in general. I feel like if people knew that being gated and not showing anything is not the way that life should be lived, I feel like people would be way more, outwardly expressive, which I think is a very good thing. I am very outwardly expressive, I think. It's just a good thing. I feel like people should definitely break out of their shells more and show their authentic feelings, emotions, everything, because I think it opens up way more opportunities.
Gender stereotypes can have lasting effects on everyone. These stereotypes can cause people not to get the jobs they want and can also hurt their mental health. It is important society learns to overcome these stereotypes, and students like Olivia and Zach, who pursue their passions despite society's expectations, are taking the first steps.